If you've ever found yourself wondering why all your heartfelt gestures, constant support, or tireless efforts never seem to move her heart the way you hoped, you may be missing the mark entirely. This isn't a criticism of women, nor a dismissal of men's devotion. Instead, it's an invitation, a deeper exploration of what truly makes a woman feel emotionally seen, safe, and irresistibly drawn to a man. Because the truth is, women don't respond to what you do for them. They respond to how you make them feel. So many men pour themselves into relationships believing that consistency, kindness, and being the good guy will naturally earn love. But affection isn't a reward for effort. It's an emotional frequency. You don't earn a woman's heart like a paycheck. You awaken it through emotional alignment and depth. Today's video is about that shift. Uncovering the 5 deeper emotional dynamics that women crave. Not what they say, not what we assume, but what actually unlocks the part of her that yearns, chooses, and stays. Stay with me until the end of this video, because what you learn here might not only change how you show up in relationships, it could transform the way you carry yourself as a man in every space you walk into. 1. Effort without emotional impact is meaningless. In male-female dynamics, few misunderstandings are as quietly destructive as this one. The belief that persistent effort guarantees affection. Many men raised with the narratives of loyalty, provision, and doing the right thing approach relationships like a formula. They offer gifts, time, support, compliments, consistency. They become emotionally available, attentive, and deeply loyal, often believing that their devotion must result in reciprocated love. But still, it doesn't land. Despite all the good intentions, they're met with emotional detachment, mixed signals, or even rejection. Why? Because women don't fall for effort. They fall for emotional experience. Being nice, safe, reliable. Those are great qualities. But safety without spark creates friendship, not romantic polarity. If she doesn't feel an emotional impact from your presence, if your words don't move her, if your energy doesn't shift her internal world, she won't fall. Not deeply, not fully. A woman is emotionally drawn to a man who is present, but not performative. A man whose silence carries weight, who speaks not to impress, but to connect, who moves with intention, not desperation. This is where Stoicism becomes powerful, that the Stoic man doesn't perform love to be chosen. He gives because it aligns with his values, not to manipulate her perception. He is whole without her, yet open to her. This calm sovereignty is the soil where attraction blooms. She feels the difference between a man who validates himself versus one who constantly seeks it, between one who needs her response and one who enjoys her company but doesn't collapse. If she pulls away, when your energy is rooted in truth, not performance, she feels safe to lean in. That's the emotional impact that lingers long after the flowers have died or the texts stop. 2. She seeks emotional polarity, not predictability. There's a quiet, unspoken shift that happens in many relationships. The spark dims, not because of neglect or betrayal, but because of availability. The man shows up, always, predictably, lovingly, without mystery. He answers texts instantly. He's always emotionally accessible. He tries to preempt every discomfort, soften every edge, and respond to every mood swing. At first, she's comforted, but then, she's not. What changed? The emotional polarity evaporated. You see, emotional polarity, the magnetic dance between presence and distance, assertiveness and stillness, is what keeps attraction alive. Women are not drawn to total transparency. They're drawn to depth, and depth requires restraint, contrast, and edges. When a man becomes too legible, too eager, too agreeable, he stops being a source of emotional curiosity. She no longer wonders about his inner world because he hands it over on a silver platter. There's no journey, no depth to explore, just comfort. But comfort without contrast becomes monotony. A woman stays attracted to a man who holds some of himself back, not to manipulate her, but to preserve the sanctity of his own internal world. His self-possession builds tension, the good kind. It invites her in, not out of need, but out of interest. The Stoic man doesn't explain himself constantly. He doesn't flood her with messages when he feels distance. He doesn't fear silence. He leads with quiet leadership, presence without pressure. In that space, attraction becomes alive again. She doesn't just want more of him, she wants to understand him. She leans in, not because he begged, but because he sparked her imagination. 3. Neediness kills desire. Be wanted, not needed. Another fatal pattern. The man who becomes useful but not desired. He's always available. He helps solve her problems. He validates her endlessly. He becomes her emotional handyman, thinking that every act of service is a deposit into the love bank. But love is not a debt she owes. And emotional labor is not romance. At first, she appreciates him. Then she depends on him. And then, she forgets to desire him. She doesn't mean to. But when a man anchors his identity in being needed, he becomes more like an extension of her support system than a partner in polarity. And when she no longer needs the support, her eyes begin to wander. Her energy retracts. Desire is voluntary. It comes from emotional freedom, not obligation. The man who is always there, always saying yes, always sacrificing his own boundaries. It starts to feel replaceable. From a deeper psychological lens. Neediness isn't about texting too much, it's about energy. She senses when your self-worth depends on her response. She feels it when your silence is a manipulation rather than a meditation, when your presence is rooted in fear of abandonment, not the joy of connection. Stoicism here offers the antidote. A Stoic man serves from overflow, not emptiness. He's supportive, but not overreaching. He doesn't anchor his identity in how she reacts. He doesn't collapse when she pulls away. He doesn't give, so she stays. He gives because it's who he is. This quiet detachment, not indifference, but emotional sovereignty, is incredibly attractive. A man who does not need her, yet chooses her. A man who listens, but doesn't over-explain. A man who can walk away without hatred if he is no longer met. This is the energy that evokes pursuit. For emotional detachment is power.com is magnetic. There is a rare kind of man whose presence shifts the emotional air in a room, not because he is loud or flashy, but because he is unmoved. His energy doesn't demand attention, it commands it. While many men scramble to soothe, to please, to adjust themselves at the first sign of a woman's emotional change, the man who remains centered becomes unforgettable. He doesn't meet her emotional volatility with panic. He meets it with presence. This isn't coldness, it's clarity. Emotional detachment, in its mature form, is not the absence of care. It's the presence of self-command. From an early age, men are taught to fix, to step in when something feels off, to change themselves in response to another's discomfort. Especially in romantic relationships, this impulse becomes a trap. A woman grows distant, and he leans in. She frowns, and he works to make her smile again. In doing so, he reveals something that shifts the dynamic completely. Emotional dependence. Women are not drawn to emotional control, but they are attuned deeply to emotional composure. A man who can sit in silence, without rushing to fill the space. Who does not flinch when she withdraws. Who doesn't break himself to restore harmony, becomes a man of rare gravity. She may test him, sometimes consciously, more often not to push him away, but to locate his edges. In those moments, she's not looking for a rescuer. She's looking for resonance. She wants to know, will he collapse under pressure? Will he lose himself to win me? Or will he stand firm in who he is? To detach emotionally is not to disconnect, it is to anchor yourself. It's recognizing that her emotional experience is hers to navigate, not yours to absorb. It's having the discipline to witness her storm without trying to control it. Whether. This man doesn't chase validation. He doesn't personalize silence. He doesn't perform empathy as a tactic. His power lies in this calm refusal to take on what is not his burden. And that strength, the strength that does not ask to be seen, becomes magnetic. A woman may not be able to describe why she's drawn to him, but she feels it. She feels safe in his steadiness even when she tries to disrupt it. Because what pulls her in isn't his willingness to rescue her from the world, it's his refusal to be consumed by hers. True emotional detachment is a form of spiritual discipline. It's compassion without collapse. It's love without loss of self, and it is unforgettable. *****5. Make her earn you respect. Follow standards, not submission. ***** A truth most men resist, and many women won't say outright. Is this what is given to easily is rarely valued. This is not cynicism, it's psychology. When a man overextends too early, giving all his energy, time, attention, and emotional access without discernment, he believes he's proving his worth. But to her, it often feels like he's devaluing it. She doesn't consciously reject his kindness, but something in her instinctively begins to pull away. Why? Because, in the emotional economy of attraction, effort without standards breeds indifference. When a man gives before assessing, when he offers loyalty before understanding her integrity, when he offers himself without asking anything in return, he sends an unspoken message. My presence requires nothing of you. And if it requires nothing, she unconsciously values it as such. This doesn't mean a man must be guarded or manipulative, but it does mean that a high-value man moves with intention, not desperation. He doesn't rush to lock things down. He doesn't offer devotion where there is no depth. He doesn't audition for affection that he observes. He listens, he evaluates. He understands that not every beautiful woman is a fit for his emotional world. He's not looking for someone to fill a void. He's discerning whether she can respect his fullness. Making a woman earn you is not about playing games. It's about preserving your sacred space, the emotional and psychological realm you've built through discipline, growth, and reflection. A man with standards doesn't explain them. He embodies them. He doesn't need to convince her of his value. He allows his presence, his boundaries, and his behavior to speak on his behalf. And when a woman encounters that, if she is emotionally mature, she won't be offended by his restraint. She'll be inspired by it. His mystery won't frustrate her, it will challenge her to rise. His boundaries won't repel, they'll filter. She'll feel the silent message he sends through his posture. You may be beautiful, but beauty alone does not grant access to my inner world. This is what makes a man respected, not how quickly he gives, but how selectively he shares. And the more grounded his standards are, the more magnetic his energy becomes. Because ultimately, respect is the gateway to desire, not affection, not approval, not overfunctioning. A woman who respects you will admire you. A woman who admires you will invest in you. And a woman who invests in you will desire to stay, not out of obligation, but out of earned devotion. Conclusion. Be the still point. In a spinning world, attraction is not won through exhaustion, performance, or endless proving. It is cultivated in presence.com, confident and deeply rooted presence. The Stoic, grounded man does not chase connection. He creates it through the life he leads, the values he holds, and the stillness he offers in a chaotic world. He does not beg to be chosen. He chooses. He does not fear withdrawal. He welcomes clarity. He does not overextend to win affection. He allows respect to lead. This isn't about withholding love. It's about offering it from a place of wholeness, not need. About showing up, not to earn worth, but to express it. So ask yourself, am I offering effort in place of presence? Am I chasing connection at the cost of self-respect? Am I making myself too easy to access before she's proven she can value what I offer? When those questions become your compass, everything changes. Because in the end, the most attractive man is not the one who does the most. He is the one who needs the least, honors the most, and holds the line, even when desire tempts him to fold. Let your presence speak louder than your words. Let your boundaries protect what you've built, and let your calm-rooted essence become the invitation, not for every woman, but for the one who's ready to meet you where you truly live.